Well, Don says he's going to call us in 10 minutes.
All right.
So we'll just Phil here.
Avoid the phones.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna.
You don't want to hear that guy doing a different voice 10 times?
No, I do not.
What? Why not? Are you being a pussy and not letting this guy through to have his say?
Well, I did. I answered him twice.
I know. This is why I'm not opposed to you just getting rid of the phones. I always hate the fucking calls.
Yeah, well, we haven't really taken many calls over the last few weeks.
I know. It's been good.
All right. Well, I could do one story here real quick.
Well, Tim James offered a story, and this won't take long.
Okay.
I'm sure that you saw that Motley announced that they're doing 4 songs.
I did not see that. No.
They've announced that they're officially recording 4 new songs.
So the real Motley band is now. Are they doing this in conjunction with the new movie?
The movie, yeah, it's probably for. I mean, they haven't said what it's for, but you got to assume it's for the dirt. You know, it's for the soundtrack. They'll have like 4 new songs for the dirt, and immediately Tim is always like, "Do you think they're going to break their promise and tour?"
Well, they didn't say that they wouldn't never tour. They said if they ever toured again, they all 4 would have to agree.
Is that what they said?
I think that's what the agreement was, is that none of them could go out as Motley.
I thought they said they would never tour again.
I thought the agreement is that they signed an agreement that they would not go out as Motley anymore, but if they did, it would have to be all 4.
Oh.
Something to that effect.
All right, well, if that's the case, then they'll definitely tour. If the case is that they said they wouldn't tour, then I still don't think they're going to tour anyway. Either way, I don't think they're going to tour. I think they'll play an L.A., a Chicago, and a New York show. I think they'll play 3 shows to launch the movie, and that'll be it. Knowing them probably on the same day. Don't you think?
Probably.
They'll start in New York. They'll play like 5 songs in New York. Then they'll fly to Chicago, play 5 songs at whatever theater has the opening there, and then fly out to L.A. and do 5 more songs or something. You know, to do something record-breaking.
Of course.
Wild and dangerous.
Well, they would have to really work hard to beat Jesse James Dupree, because didn't he do that a few years ago where they played like 5 shows in 5 cities in one day or something to that effect?
Did he?
Yeah.
I believe you. I just don't remember, because why would that stick out in my head? The Jackal played a couple of shows.
Yeah, they played, let's see, Jackal, what would it be? Concerts in one day?
Like 5 concerts in one day.
Yeah. Let's see what that is. Jackal. How much? I know that they did something like that. They did like 5 shows in one day in 5 different cities or something to that effect.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, because they were trying to get that Guinness Book of World Records thing.
How impressive.
Yeah. So anyway, tell me about Motley.
Well, that's all there is to tell. They're in the studio with 4 songs.
Oh, okay. I thought there was more to it than that.
No, that's all there is to tell. Tim wants to have a conversation about it. I don't think there's any conversation to have.
I mean, I didn't see the news on this.
Yeah, I mean, there was a picture like a week or so ago of Tommy and Nikki in the studio.
Okay.
And then Vince posted this week that he was going to the studio to record a couple songs for Motley.
So he's going to go, hey.
That was the joke that I put on Twitter. I was like, do you think Nikki wrote lyrics or just letters?
Yeah, he just wrote sounds.
Yeah.
So, Vince, can you make these noises?
Sure can. Take one. Perfect. Perfect, Vince. One take Jake you are. Yeah, I see that as a big who gives a shit moment for me personally, but, you know, do you care?
No.
Did you care about the last Saints of Los Angeles record? Did you ever listen to it even?
No. I listened to it when it came out.
Yeah, one time, maybe two.
Maybe two.
Yeah, I didn't like it very much either. We are the Saints.
Classic Metal Show Studio.
Hey.
So, what the deal is, from what I understand, yes, it's for the movie, and Vince Neil has come out and said they had agreed not to tour. They never said they were breaking up. They had all agreed not to tour, but they didn't say they wouldn't record, and they didn't say they wouldn't do other stuff. So that's what I understand.
All right, fair enough.
But I'm just wondering if I mean, and you guys were obviously just talking about it. I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts were on whether they would renege on the original agreement and tour anyway.
Well, I thought that they could do it if they all collectively agreed that they would do that.
Yeah. Anyway, just my 2 cents worth. Hail and kill.
Hail and kill.
All right, well, take your nickel back, asshole.
Too funny.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a who cares story.
Yeah. So a movie's coming out, so they're going to throw out a few songs for the soundtrack and make a couple of bucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, big deal.
Yeah, can't wait to hear those songs once and never listen to them again.
Now, are you a fan? Because I'm not. I'm not a fan of recreation of a story. You know,
I am a fan of that.
See, I don't. It's like I've seen movies like about the Beatles, like they have characters that act the parts of the Beatles, or I think I saw some part of a movie where it was about the band In Excess.
Okay.
And things like that. And I just can't get into the whole, the parts of picking actors to act like the people that are actually in the band.
Dude, I am an absolute honk for that stuff.
Really?
Yep.
So it just does nothing for me.
The Temptations thing, I watched every minute of it. Dude, last weekend, you know what I did last week while we were off? I had told myself, I was like, I'm going to bed at midnight. I want to get a good night's sleep because of the, football was starting, and I knew I had to pay a little closer attention to the game because of the podcast
right,
thing.
Of course.
So I wanted to be a little more awake and lively than I normally am, which, normally I get up real early after doing the show and then I fall asleep at halftime of the game. And so I wanted to get some extra sleep. So I was like, okay, it's midnight. I'm gonna take a nap, or I'm gonna go to sleep, and I'm gonna get myself good 8 hours of sleep. So I went to turn something on my TV, and on Hulu I stumbled across the 3-part miniseries of New Edition, which I am a fan of. I stayed up for fucking till 6:30 in the morning watching the shit. I watched all 3 parts. Each part was like an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever. And I stayed up all night and watched the shit.
Huh.
I love that stuff, dude. I watched the Straight Outta Compton. I've watched 10 times. The Tupac movie I've watched a bunch of times. I will watch The Dirt, no questions asked. I watched Howard Stern's Private Parts movie.
Well, I watched that. I did watch that Private Parts, but Howard was actually in it.
Yeah, he was. But, dude, I love those kind of movies. Because they still share stuff that you didn't know.
Yeah, but see, my question is do they write stuff to make it more dramatic, or is it factual, or is it a facsimile of what sort of happened?
Yeah, dude, it's all, it's embellished for movie.
Of
for
course
TV,
it is.
whatever. But so what?
Yeah, I've tried to watch those docu-movies and just doesn't cut it for me.
I watch every one of them. Every single one of them I will watch. I love them.
Not for me, pal.
But I got to be a fan of the band. Like In Excess, I wouldn't watch an In Excess one.
Yeah, well, I watched like 10 minutes of it, and I was just like, okay.
But, and this is how screwy I am, if there was a real documentary on In Excess, I'd watch it. Even if it was 2 hours long, even though I don't like the band. I'll watch a real documentary of any band. I don't give a shit who it is.
Well, that I do that all the time. Amazon probably has one of the best selections of that. In fact, I watched one on the Police.
Yeah, and probably don't own a single Police record, right?
I think I'd have their greatest hits or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But you know what? Speaking of that, and this one, and don't look it up.
Okay.
How old do you think that Andy Summers is?
Andy Summers?
Yeah, from the Police.
Well, they were a little bit older when Synchronicity came out. So I'm going to say he's probably, I'm going to say 70.
Yeah, you're pretty damn close.
Yeah. Because he was like 35 when in 83 or 84,
well,
wasn't he?
I think he was 40.
Was he that old?
Yeah.
He was in his 30s.
Yeah, but when I saw, I was watching this documentary, and I saw that he was born during World War II.
Jesus Christ.
I was just like, what? Or at the end of World War II, rather.
And you're still like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I didn't realize that he was that old.
Yeah. I did not know that. Dude, that's a band I never got. There's just a lot of those bands that were like Rolling Stone darlings that I never could figure out. And Sting was definitely one of them. Sting and the Police. I mean, I own, like everybody else, I own Synchronicity. I bought the tape. And I listened to it like twice, and I hated it. Tea in the Sahara with you. Ugh. What is that shit? That was like bad version of Lou Reed, which I thought was bad.
Well,
I never got it.
Andy Summers is 75 years old.
Holy smokes.